How we doing? Good? Nice. I'm just waiting on a couple more guys, a couple more students. Can you hear my kids yelling upstairs? Oh, constant. It's a constant thing. All right, we're gonna get started. It doesn't look like anybody else is left in the in that queue. So before we begin tonight, let's any questions about the exam? Anybody have any questions about exam number 3? Everybody got their scores? Everybody got their yes? Okay, good. Any questions, comments? Pretty straightforward, yes? All right, good. All in all, I thought that everybody did pretty well. I mean, it was a, we've never done anything like this before as far as, you know, doing an exam over Zoom. And I figured that I thought it went pretty well. So I'm glad you guys feel the same way. 2 classes left. And these last 2 classes are basically where we turn it over to you. And it's up to you guys to go through as a group and present as if you guys were on Shark Tank. It's a little different being as it is this forum. I think you guys can imagine us being in the classroom where I have a really great hyped up video that we would play. And it was a lot of fun last semester, but we'll make it work this semester. And hopefully it goes seamlessly like I guess the last 5 classes have. That being said, I am gonna start with group 2 tonight. Marguerite is in France, and I think it's 12 o'clock there, AM. And to be fair to her, she wanted to do this, and she wanted to make sure she did it with the group tonight. And I figured I'd let group number 2 go. And Marguerite is a warrior for staying up and staying in this. And we appreciate it. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys understand. So I will turn it over to group number 2. And I don't know who in the group wants to control the screen. I have to make them a co-host. So we have Fred, Ryan, Katie, and Marguerite. I don't know what you guys want to do or how you want to present. It's all on you. It's up to you guys. So I would defer to the members of the group to tell me what you guys want to do from this point on.
I was just gonna share my screen.
All right. Hold on 1 second, Katie. All right, kid, you got it. Again, before you start, remember what this is all about, guys, right? Think back to, especially the participants. Not everybody is going to go tonight, I get that. But think about the presentations. A lot of these folks have put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort. I don't even know what brands they are. I didn't even read the email, so I'm interested to see what you guys came up with, especially in this. Zach's smiling, so I don't know if I really want to see his presentation, but have fun with it. You know, we're doing something that's new and unique. We're doing this over Zoom. Have fun with it. You know, think about what we've gone through from an effective selling perspective in this class, tie it all together. And I would ask the participants, be Mr. Wonderful. Be Mark Cuban. Think about polls. Maybe they missed something. What questions can you ask? Remember participation, all right? And I'm going to ask the same thing for the last class next week. We're almost there, guys. We got one more after this. So keep it up, and I will turn it over to Ms. Katie and group number 2.
All right, so today we have a really sweet deal for you. Our company is Me and the Bees, and our product is a lemonade that is not only delicious, but it's also good for you. The honeybees are a major focus of our brand, and we're on a mission to help save the dwindling bee population. So a little over 10 years ago, the idea for Me and the Bees lemonade began, and funny enough, it was started by being stung by a bee. I was camping in my backyard and I went inside to grab water, and when I grabbed the door handle, a bee stung me. However, after being stung, I became fascinated with them, and I learned about what they do for our ecosystem and how they populate almost 85% of crops. From this, I came up with the idea of making something that helps honeybees, and that is why a portion of all of our profits go towards saving honeybees. The lemonade started as a hometown competition, but it was a huge success, and the brand Me and the Bees was born. Consumers are constantly looking for ways to cut sugar from their diet, and beverages like lemonade contain a lot of sugar, and every gram counts. This is why Me and the Bees has worked hard to offer a healthier beverage choice by reducing the grams of sugar as well as calories in all of our flavors. How do we accomplish this? By using honey. Honey allows us to reduce the use of cane sugar in our beverages. We also added a melon-like fruit called monk fruit, which has no sugar, no carbs, and doesn't raise blood sugar levels. Monk fruit is 300 to 400 times sweeter than sugar, which makes it a fantastic alternative. Flaxseed is another important ingredient and is a great source of antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids, and research even states that flaxseed can lower the risk of diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. These are just a few of the many health benefits that Me and the Bees lemonade has, and it shows that it's not only good for you, but it's also good for the environment, because when you buy a bottle, you save the bees.
So what's so special about us? We are a social enterprise. We go beyond of what's on the market already. We're a special lemonade. And how do we work? We are a portion of our profits goes to organizations that helps to save the bees with research, or with also strengthening local food, local businesses. Sorry, and our recipes are made with raw food, as Ryan just explained. We are good for you. We are healthy. Not only we're healthy, we're environmentally friendly, and we do research for saving the bees.
So we are currently partnered with one distributor, which is United Natural Foods. And so they help us get our product into cafes and natural food stores across the United States. So some of these stores are Whole Foods, Kroger, Natural Grocers, and Fresh Market. And then 10% of our net profit of lemonade sales goes towards the Healthy Hive Foundation. And they are dedicated to increasing honeybee awareness and the number of safe environments for bees to survive in.
So how can you help us? Here we are today asking for $25,000 in order to R&D a new line of products. It's going to be our new low-calorie tea, which will still consist of using our locally sourced honey from Texas. We wanted to create a product that would diversify our portfolio while still maintaining our core product idea, which was something that would be healthy, that would be locally sourced, fair trade, consist of honey, of course, because the purpose is to save the bees, and also maintain the low-calorie health benefits.
Thank you for listening.
So I have a couple of questions. And first of all, always interesting to go first, and appreciate all you guys for putting the effort in going first. Can you open it up so we can see everybody else in the class? Is there a way that you can go back to the first screen?
I don't know. Do I just stop sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to open it up to the entire class based on the presentation. My question comes in, basically, I love the fact that you guys are going with a healthier option. I love the fact that you guys are talking more about locally sourcing this and then the fair trade. That seems like where a lot of companies are going. My question for you would be, what does the competition look like? Right? Lemonade is, I can go to BJ's and I can get those two for, $6. What was your cost? What does the market look like with this lemonade market? I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to look further into it. But what is your cost? And then how are you going to drive that demand? If you guys are only going to, from a social enterprise perspective, you guys are only going to natural food places. Where do you look to scale this? Is this just a niche for the natural food market, or do you guys anticipate this? How do you sell this to the masses?
I guess I can answer that. So originally, as the company was founded, it started with a 4-year-old girl, and she wanted to start a lemonade stand, right? And so the idea that like the profits that they would submit 10% of the profits from our company in order to help support bee like research and help benefit the local bee farms as well. And so in order to maintain this profitability, right, our target market in terms of who we're trying to sell to is definitely people from middle class to like mid-level income to higher level income. People who have the ability to pay that little extra in order to like benefit this research and help give back to the environment, right? So we really wanted, I guess in a sense, you can say our focus stays around these fair trade organic food markets, but we were like looking into doing the new line of low calorie teas because that would be able to help us expand into not as niche of a product. It would allow us to push more into the general beverage industry instead of just the niche of lemonade specific and like fair trade only, like with like Whole Foods or like Trader Joe's.
Right.
You know, our competitors, like a pretty big competitor that isn't directly the same. Most of our competitors, like Hubert's Lemonade, same price or pricing is relatively the same, around 50 cents difference. Calorie count, 30 calories difference. Sugar count, about 12 grams difference, and same fluid ounce bottle selling. But a big issue was that Hubert's doesn't support this research, right? And they're lower priced. They do only do lemonade. It is a lemonade only company, just like our company is. So like that's like our direct competitor, I guess you can compare us to. But since Hubert's is so widely known as just a California happy-go-lucky, bring me around type, that's what they've marketed Hubert as. We were, by targeting more eco-friendly, interest-focused areas, this is like, we're selling a brand, like the brand, the idea that someone so young can go pursue environmentally friendly aspects and like pursue something ethically great.
Right. That was my other question. I mean, you kind of fell in line with that. It was, so I think that you're correct. When you guys pitch this product and look at it, I think you're lopping off a good portion of the market, right? Even you just admitted that you're really only looking. So I guess from an effective selling perspective, you know, from a group think tank, you know, how do you guys anticipate, or how did you guys talk through, all right, how do we expand? If it's teas, right? If you guys have lemonade and you're expanding into teas, well, then what does that sound like? You know, are you going to go to Walmart? Are you going to go to some of these other big people? And what does that look like from your company perspective? I think that's the part that I would look at. You know, from an effective selling, you're selling it to one segment, but now it's how do you grow it, right? The competition is, you know, 3 cents on the dollar. So how do you guys get over that hump? And how would you sell that, you know, to somebody that's not at one of these niche markets? And I'll open it up to the class. We got 35 people. Anybody have any comments, questions about the presentation?
I have a question. How much is your lemonade, like how much does it cost, and how much does the competitor that you mentioned, how much does their lemonade cost?
Hubert sells for $2.50 in Texas, Austin, Texas, and Me and the Bees lemonade sells for $2.99 in Texas.
Hi, I had a question.
Go for it.
I was just wondering, how does the lemonade taste? What did the customers think?
That's a very important
Delicious.
question.
What do you think? It's delicious. I think to answer your question, Professor, for the sales, we want to emphasize our storytelling, and what is really behind the brand is not only the taste, of course, but also like the whole purpose of the brand, and going into small stores, talk about our brands, make it taste. I mean, create more relationship and links with our potential customers, and just people who are maybe intrigued by our image, or just are thirsty or whatever. We just want to, emphasize the direct link with the customers and potential.
Yeah. Katie, can you go back to that first slide, the first 2 slides that you put up real quick? Yes, no? Okay.
Yes, we can do that. I mean, we need to share a screen. Katie, you want to share the screen? Oh, good.
So I guess from this perspective, this is exactly what you're talking about. So value proposition, right? This is your value prop to your customer. right? How do you make this come alive? That's your story, right? This is your story. And Fred talked about it. Marguerite, you talked about it. So what I would do is, we're obviously not going to do it for the sake of where we're at right now in the semester. But in the broad sense of things, think about how you can interweave and make it personal. Think about how this comes alive. And Ryan told the story of, getting stung by a bee and how that influenced the decision-making about why you guys chose to go with this brand. That's what effective selling is all about, right? How do you make this, go to the next slide or the 2 slides after. So that compiled with this is really how you get your customers in. And really that's the message that you guys draw your customers. Think next time, if you have an opportunity and you're presenting, think through a competition a little bit, vet that. What's the cost? What does it look like, if we expand? And again, what does it sound like? So if you want to capture more of that market, what does that sound like from a selling perspective? All right, you can stop sharing. Anybody else have any questions, comments about the presentation? Olivia says no. No questions, no. Hugo, no, nothing. All right, so I think let's all give them a Zoom round of applause, please. Okay, a nice hearty round of applause for group number 2. It's always difficult first. Great job. This is not an easy way to sell these and talk through them, but you guys did what was asked. I mean, what we're trying to do is group work. I'm interested to see how often did you guys talk through this? Was there one person on the team that was leading the discussion? Did you guys get on a Zoom? Did you do text messages? How did you guys come up with this as your brand?
It was pretty difficult with our time zone differences, but me and Marguerite met first and we kind of discussed a couple ideas, and then we ran it by the rest of the group, and then we got together and kind of went through each idea that we had developed and decided which one we liked best, and we liked this one best because of the message behind it. So it was definitely a group decision. We had to split up a couple times because of time difference, so it was pretty difficult, but I think we made it work, and it was pretty fun to do. Good.
And if we were in person, we would have brought lemonade for the class, of course.
Oh, well, that would have been, that's a way to boost the grade right there. My God, that would have been phenomenal. I'm interested because, and I'm going to ask this to all the groups that go, in the challenges that we face now, they're only going to be heightened as we go forward, right? I mean, they're talking about changing Bentley to trimesters, and they're talking about doing a lot of different things, not just at Bentley, but once you guys get out of here. I mean, we're not even going back to work here until at least July. So think about that. As you guys present and as you guys think through, I'd like to hear from your groups before you're finished, how you guys got to the plans. Was somebody the leader? Did somebody spearhead and get everybody on board with the plans and in the brands? How did that work? What was the communication like? So excellent job, group number 2. Thank you very much for going first. Marguerite, if you have to go to wherever you have to go, I appreciate you being here and stepping up and staying up to do this tonight. So thank you. All right. So does group 1 want to go?
Yeah, we're ready to present.
Sure. You ready to rock? All right, so we got Colby, we got Caitlin, and Jack. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Alan didn't last too long, so he's no longer us, right? So group 2's done. Group 1. Who do I need to give this?
Yeah,
link to?
could I share the screen?
Caitlin, yep.
Yeah.
second. There we go. All right, Caitlin.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hi, Sharks. Our names are Colby,
Jack.
And Caitlin.
and we're here today seeking $150,000 for 10% of our company, Sun on the Run. If there's one thing that all of us should agree on, it's that global warming is becoming an ever-increasing issue. That's why millions of Americans are looking to ditch their old ways and say goodbye to dirty fossil fuels.
As people are looking to change their old habits, people are more frequently settling on solar energy. Although solar energy and solar panels are a great alternative to the typical fossil fuels, they come at a cost. An at-home solar panel installation can cost tens of thousands of dollars, and the three of us can attest to the fact that as broke college students, that's not just the price that we are willing to pay.
Now, Sharks, what if we were to tell you that we've come up with an affordable way to incorporate solar power into your everyday routine? Inspired by the Bentley Arena solar panels running the building, Sun on the Run is a fully functioning compact solar panel that attaches right to your phone. Sun on the Run can be used to power up your iPhone, iPad, and other small devices. The compact nature of our product makes it perfect for people like hikers, campers, and basically anyone on the run to use.
With your help, Sharks, we can take Sun on the Run into every household in America and really make an impact on the environment. Now, before we ask you to join us, we just want to touch on a few key aspects of our business.
So first, I just want to give a little brief history of our company. So we founded the company Sun on the Run in 2018, and we began to see a real need for the product at our time at Bentley. So Caitlin, Colby, and I are three environmentally conscious students who really care about the environment. And we began to notice that people's phones were constantly dying and witnessed many people asking for phone chargers to use during class, at the library, or even in the dining hall. This made us wonder if there was a way for people to charge their phones while walking from building to building around campus. We decided that we wanted to create a product that allowed people to charge their phones on the go that utilized solar energy. So our brains started churning, and we began to realize that the large customer base that would benefit from our product. So we decided to give it a go. So there are multiple problems that exist that our problem aims to solve. So first and most important is our carbon footprint. So CO2 levels today are on average 410 parts per million, and they continue to rapidly increase. So to put that in perspective, the highest it's been in the past 800,000 years is 300 parts per million. And this is leading to the global warming phenomenon that has become such a big issue in today's society. So another problem our product will solve is people's phones constantly dying. So as you know, we live in an age where people are in many ways addicted to their cell phones and are constantly on them throughout the day. This results in phones dying far, far earlier than one might expect. And this can also lead to potentially dangerous situations. So if you're in one of these dangerous situations and need to contact someone, the last thing you want is for your phone to be dead and to become stranded somewhere, for example. So you might be asking yourself, why wouldn't I just purchase a portable charger? So while these can be often an effective option for some issues, you end up having to charge your charger pretty much every time you leave the house, which can be a little contradicting. And it is really easy to forget to charge them or just blow it off because it's just not too convenient. On top of this, portable chargers have limited battery lives and often die before your phone is fully charged. So next, Caitlin will share a little bit about how we aim to solve these problems using a never-ending energy source.
Thanks, Jack. Our solution was to combine the best of both worlds in the market of solar-powered chargers, bring together a direct solar charger and a battery bank phone charger. The advantages of combining these two charger types mean that Sun on the Run is portable, efficient, weather-resistant, and has faster phone charging. This is also a constant energy source. Tying in the powers of a battery bank solar phone charger, Sun on the Run is able to store a day's worth of solar energy in its system, allowing it to work for 3 hours, for 0 to 100 charges. Because this product is targeted towards those who are always on the go, it's smaller and sleeker design that has never been seen before by the market. This product works by having a thin magnetic piece about the size of a credit card that customers could place between the phone and the phone case to keep the charger connected to the phone. And if this wasn't enough, we donate 5% of all of our profits towards Solar Project, a wildlife network conservation charitable donation. You may be asking yourself, what is our competition? Currently, we look at Anchor, Big Blue, and NetTac as our competition. We stand apart in pricing, size, accessibility, and functionality. In accordance with price, the competition is valued between $20 and $70 based upon how many devices can be charged at once and the strength of the wattage associated with each product. Since we price our product around $45, we stay right in the middle with high quality. Also, we're not a bulky product. As I mentioned before, this product is about the size of a credit card and can be attached right to your phone. Our competitors have extra attachments to the phone that don't fit in your pocket or even large pockets on a backpack. This isn't convenient for anyone on the go. Along with this, our competitors require a cord, sometimes even an additional cord to purchase, to connect your phone to the charger. This isn't helpful for people who are overpackers, much like me, or who need to be outdoors in inclement weather patterns. Our product doesn't need a cord and provides a much better way for constant movers and busy people to get the charging job done. Finally, our product charges with speed, making it ready to handle every situation. According to Solar Reviews, performance on our competitors' products fluctuates depending on the intensity of sunlight and is slow to charge. Our technology with Sun on the Run combines battery pack, like I mentioned, with 9 watts of energy, allowing us to charge faster and more dependable, which is much better than the average 7 watts of energy seen by our competition.
So you might be wondering how we came up with our $1.5 million valuation for our company. Well, in the last 2 years alone that we've been operational, we've done $1 million in sales. This next coming year, we're projecting to do another $1 million in sales. When coming up with our company valuation, we've also taken into account the size of our market. In the past 10 years, the solar market has grown an astronomical 50%. This really points to a strong emerging market and a huge potential for growth. We also think that at our current retail price of $45, we have a 60% margin. We think that our current level of manufacturing, this is a really good margin for us, and it really just proves that there is a lot of room to grow. All of these factors have led to our robust company valuation. So who are we trying to sell our product to? Well, right now we're selling our product 100% online direct to consumer. And right now we're typically targeting the environmentally conscious outdoorsy type people. These are people like hikers, campers, skiers, snowboarders, and just really anyone who lives on the go. These people are constantly on the move and are not always within reach of a wall socket to charge their devices. These people also tend to care much more about the environment than others because they spend so much of their time outdoors. So where do we see ourselves going in the future? Well, our number one goal for the future is to break into the retail space. Now, we understand that the word retail scares a lot of you sharks, but we've done a lot of market research, and we think the best way to grow our business is by getting into one of the big box retailers like Target, Walmart, or Dick's Sporting Goods. Secondly, we plan to develop a bunch of new products. We're currently in the works of creating a slightly larger product that has the ability to charge a larger device like a personal computer. We see a lot of potential growth in this idea. And lastly, we just want to get into as many households as possible. We understand that right now we're mostly targeting typical outdoorsy type people. However, this doesn't mean that our product can't benefit other consumers. We think that our product has the potential to benefit all 300 million phone users in America. So we just want to thank you guys for your time, and we just want to find out now which one of you sharks wants to join us on our journey.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. Group number 1. I'll open it up to the class. Are those hands raised? Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Really like the presentation. I was curious what you guys are going to use this round of funding for specifically. Is that mostly for manufacturing and distribution to get into those big box stores, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I'll handle this one. Yeah, so mainly we're going to use the money. First, if we go back to our manufacturer and we can purchase more inventory, we can bring down our costs down. Right now, our cost per unit is $18, which is a 60% margin for us. And we can bring this dollar amount closer down in the teens if we get an investment. And then secondly, we're going to use part of the money towards marketing. There's a lot of different solar products on the market, and we think that sort of marketing will vastly help us, gain part of this market share.
Thank you.
What's the life expectancy on a product like that? Because I know I've had portable chargers in the past, and some of them have been solar powered, but they eventually hit a point where they die and they stop working.
And what's the charge time?
I can take that one. Yeah, the average solar powered phone charger lasts about 3 years, and we're proud to say that our product is the average of lasting 5 years, so we are above that competition rate. And the second part of the question was, how long does it take to charge? And because, as I said before, we have that 9 watts of battery power with the phone charger, it'll take about an hour to get from that 0 to 100 charge.
So it still needs to be plugged in. It's not just, you don't have to plug it in. You put it on the back of your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I put my phone in like my bag half the time, or it's in my pocket. Is it charging when it's in your pocket, or do you have to have your phone like this, in the sun the whole time?
Great question. I can take that one too. So as I said before, you only have to have it in the sun for at least a day to get the 0 to 100 charges 3 times because of that battery pack charger. So if you have it out in the sun, you could just have it on your windowsill, put it in the front area of your car for even just 12 hours, and you'll get you'll get 1.5 charges 0 to 100. So that's really convenient for you, and it'll be able to store even if it's in your back pocket.
Got it. Amanda?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I was wondering, I know you guys said that you definitely wanted to get this in stores, but one of the first places that I thought of was this being sold on Amazon and online. Are you guys planning to go into the online market as well?
I mean, yes, at some point we definitely want to get it on Amazon just for the sake of the amount of users that Amazon has. So I think that's something that we would definitely want to do in the near future. And to also answer for the question about how your portable chargers would often die out, we actually offer a warranty after 12 months that if it stops working for any reason, that we will give you a complete refund, or we'll ship you another one. And a lot of the competition, a lot of the complaints about the other competition is that they didn't offer a warranty for chargers that stopped working, so we wanted to incorporate that into our business.
I have a question about having your phone in the sun. I know sometimes phones get overheated and then they lose all their battery. Has there been an issue at all with that, or is it fine just your phone sitting out in the sun?
Yeah, that one's okay to have it sitting out, just because you can bring that, the actual charging device out into the sun, and then you can connect it onto your phone. As Professor Young was saying, you can just put it in your back pocket. So you can have the charger out in the sun all day, get that all heated up, and then connect it to your phone and put that away anywhere.
I had a question also. Is it compatible with all different kinds of phones, or does it work better with iPhone, or can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll handle that. Right now, we're hooked up to support Samsung phones and iPhones. We're working in the future to be able to be compatible with all different types of phones.
Cool, thank you.
I have a question. I'm just wondering, I know that a lot of charging things are charging pads now, and you can charge multiple different things from iPhones to your AirPods to Apple Watches. Do you see yourself moving towards that direction in the future as well?
Yeah, I can tackle that one. Or Jack, did you want to take it?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so in the future, with some of this money, we do plan on expanding our products. So one of the products we were looking to, move into was doing a laptop charge, but we'd definitely be looking into doing headphones and more different types of products.
Can you lower the $45?
I think if we're able to get our manufacturing costs down, so we're not paying $18 per unit, I think we'll definitely be able to bring that cost down. But it's really kind of dependent on finding a manufacturer that will be able to support our like lower costs.
So was that a no?
At our current level of manufacturing, that's probably not a possibility if we want to maintain our margins. But that's one of the reasons why we're here today, like seeking an investment, is so we can lower our costs, so we can bring down the price of our product and really compete that way as well.
How did you guys come up with this concept?
We all met on Zoom, and we basically just all tried to come up with a bunch of ideas and run them by each other until one of them sounded like it was the right one, and this seemed to fit the best.
So did you guys, basically come up with this from scratch, developed it, and, came up with the entire valuation or the entire product?
Yeah, we did a lot of research of looking at like current solar panel companies and like current portable chargers and things like that. And we did a lot of research around that. And we came up with our own product where we saw that there were gaps in the market and that we could address, where people were complaining about current products in the market.
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments from the class? Who's going to invest in this? We forgot to do that the first time. Who's investing? Stathis, I know you're going to invest in this. I mean, it's solar powered charger. I mean, this is $100,000. It's nothing. It's dropping the hat. I would say, so you guys met on Zoom. What did the communication go like via Zoom? Walk me through, you guys talked about it, developed the plan. Did anybody take the lead on this, or was this more of a, all right, this sounds like a good thing to do?
I think we kind of all took the lead in different ways. So when we were brainstorming things, Jack really took the lead on really coming up with some really great ideas and product ideas. This wasn't our only product that we had brainstormed, and he really took the lead on that. Colby kept us really organized and made sure that our stuff was getting, done on time and making sure that we hit every mark. And then, I kind of filled in the rest. So it was a lot of group effort. I don't think there was like one, solar lead, but we definitely worked together a lot and kept our, text group chat going, as well as some Zoom sessions.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else have any comments, questions, anything else? Mateo says no. No comments, no questions. He's good. Rob, you good? All right. Awesome. Group number one, thank you for the presentation. And thank you for going on the first night. Appreciate it. Phenomenal job. I'm an investor. Seems like all these other guys are investing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anytime. All right. Who wants to go next?
We'll go group 3.
Oh, perfect. All right. We have Courtney, we have Olivia, Teo, and Zachary.
I'm gonna do the screen share.
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
No problem.
Okay, buddy, go for it.
All righty. Okay. Everyone ready? All good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hi guys, we're group 3. My name's Zach.
I'm Mateo.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're going to be talking about the Comfy tonight. So, Courtney, have you ever found yourself absolutely freezing in your house during quarantine?
Yes, my dad is the classic thermostat dictator. I can't even go near that thing. Cold nights in the Waronka household happen almost every night. It feels like I'm outside. How about you, Liv?
My family spends a lot of time outside by the fire. Having a blanket is simply not enough and restricts my ability to have fun outside. I wish I could have something to throw on and wear wherever I want. Do you know what I mean, Mateo?
Totally, Liv. My family loves movie nights, and all the good blankets just go too fast. I wish I had something of my own that would make me warmer than anyone else. Only if there was something to fix our problems.
So does anyone else at all have this problem? Because I know it's something I've personally run into a lot during quarantine. I see Professor shaking his head. Yeah. All right. So we have a solution. Enter the Comfy. What is it? It's an oversized sweatshirt blanket. It comes in multiple colors and fabrics, different styles. We've got kid sizes. You can wear it anywhere. And for kids, it costs about $35. And in adult, it goes anywhere from $40 to $50. So our main competition that we're kind of fighting here is the Snuggie, actually. Does anyone have a Snuggie currently? Anyone? No one has a Snuggie.
I have
I
the
actually-
Snuggie and the Comfy.
Okay, all right.
I do not have a Snuggie.
Ah, okay. Anyone have any problems with a Snuggie if they have one? I mean, because
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I have a Snuggie and I think it's super hard to walk around in.
yeah, there we go. So the problems we see with the Snuggie, as it stands now, is that there's no back to it, right? So when you stand up, you're missing a whole side of coverage, and you can't really walk around. And the rest of our competitors are basically just emulating our original product. They cost around the same, and they don't do much different than us.
So, although we're a little bit more expensive, we do have higher quality materials and we're more wearable and easy to move around in. Like, you can wear it if you're outside and you need to go back inside, you can just get up, walk easily. You can wear them to sporting events like baseball games. And another thing that we do is we donate some of our proceeds to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Our target market is people ages 18 to 65 because it's really wearable for people of any age, and you can purchase them as gifts, like for birthdays or holidays. Has anybody ever had an experience where they had to get a present for somebody but they didn't really know what to get them?
All the time.
Yeah, so this would be like a great gift to get somebody. Like, Mother's Day is coming up, so if you don't know what to get your mom, like, she might like this.
So our initial offer is $100,000 for a 25% stake in our company. And Courtney's going to talk a little bit about what we intend to do with that money, should we get it.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, so going into the project plan, obviously our first take is to emphasize more on social media. So we are on social media right now and have a ton of followers, but we would like to gain even more and have a bunch of people talking about our product. So to do this, we would like to send products to influencers who can post about it, as well as host competitions and have hashtags and people tag us in posts. And then just using overall Instagram ads just to ensure altogether that millions of people are seeing our ads every day in our product. And then getting marketing material into indoor and outdoor magazines and other online sources. That way, for example, if you're a family looking for outdoor furniture, you can see the Comfy and how it fits in perfectly with that scene, as well as vice versa with indoor shopping as well, to show the flexibility of our product. And then lastly, we'd like to expand our product into department stores. So department stores from Macy's all the way to Bass Pro Shops. Customers can walk in, see the Comfy, recognize it, see how it fits into the scene, as well as see the quality of the product in real life.
All right, thank you, Courtney. So next, with your investment, we're also planning on adding more to our lines. We're gonna add more customization, whether that be adding initials or your name to our Comfy. And then we would add more patterns and colors to make them pop out more and have you be able to choose from a larger array. And then also add something like a zipper for people to put it on easier. And then also in the future, we'd love to partner up with major sports leagues such as the NFL, MLB, NHL, or NBA, and hopefully with schools, the NCAA, to have like your school logo on the Comfy, wear them to sporting events, all that.
So let me just pause real quick. I have a specific question for you, Professor, how great would it be to be out on the patio by the fire, on Zoom with one of your clients, having a beer in a Zev Young branded comfy? How great would that be?
I like the idea. It's not bad. I love that idea. I have one of these though. It's a shark,
Oh,
and it's actually my comfy that I use, so it's nice little. I hope it can compete with this one. I mean,
hey, you've got that one for the legs. Get the comfy for the top. You'd be fully kitted out.
I like where your head's at right now. Not gonna lie. I like it.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you. Questions, comments?
Colby.
How did you guys come up with your company's valuation?
So our company is actually, we got the idea because we were trying to run ideas by each other, and we kept saying how cold we were. And we just kind of found this company that has done really well in the past couple of years. Like their initial pitch, they were on Shark Tank. We kind of have to confess. We were a little bit, we found this company and we were shocked that they'd been on Shark Tank, first of all. And they came in with actually a lower valuation than we did, but in the past year, they've done 150 million in sales. So we figured it would be pretty A-okay to just kind of double what they asked for and go in for that.
So I got a question for you guys. So I'm actually allergic to wool. So what kind of fabric is this made out of?
Okay. So we have a variety of different fabrics. I don't know, Olivia, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so there's fleece, cotton, and
I believe.
sherpa.
Yeah.
So like that teddy bear. If you ever see those jackets that a ton of girls wear a lot.
It's all also mainly synthetic. So, we don't use any, fur, wool, none of that. It's all ethical.
Are any of the other competition, like the Snuggie, is it the Snuggie? Is that one of them? Snuggle, Snuggie. Okay.
Slexon, and
Okay.
Catalonia.
Any one of these. So one thing that you guys said was that a lot of companies out there are emulating your product, right? So I guess my question for your group is, you said in your presentation that you really that they don't do anything different than what you guys are or what you offer, but you're more expensive. So you have great plans to broaden your, I guess you're going to do a ZY, relationships matters for me, but you're probably going to do other things. So my question is, I love the fact that you guys are thinking about going social media, having an influencer. Somebody hit me up recently about ambassadorship. I don't even know what this stuff is, but how do you guys, I guess, is this even fashionable? I mean, would you wear this out to, where would you wear this to? Honestly.
So there are sometimes families that'll go to like sporting events. You'll see them out there, like especially at Gillette in the winter, and they'll have Snuggies on. Like they'll all be in Snuggies, which is, it's just a bad look. With this, it just looks like you're wearing a massive sweatshirt, and they actually make ones out of sweatshirt material so that it just looks like a very oversized sweatshirt. And that's kind of where we start to differentiate from the competition, is we offer different styles. Whereas the majority of the competition just has like what I guess would be considered our base model, like the original, that they sell with some different variation on. Stathis.
So like if I was at a sporting event though and I saw someone wearing that and I didn't know what the comfy was, how are you guys going to differentiate yourself? Because if I saw someone wearing that, I'm going to say, oh, that person's wearing a Snuggie, not, oh, they're wearing a comfy. So like, what are you going to do, the steps forward to like either put a logo on it or something for me to know, oh, that's a comfy, not a Snuggie?
So we do have a logo on there, and we are going to go into personalizing it for teams. And we would be the only ones currently doing that, really, unless you just wanted to buy a big sweatshirt from your team. On that one, I don't know what to say. But other than that, we do have a logo on there. It's kind of in an odd spot. It's right at the bottom. I would think it would be up here. On some of them, it is up here, but we have a brand. Basically what we were trying to focus on with our project plan was trying to build that brand substantially.
Are there certain demographics that you could target or that you guys can target more?
So we were going into sports fans. They also recently rolled out one called the Teddy, which is that Sherpa material. And I think that's pretty targeted towards the female side of the market. They do have camouflage ones. So that would be more towards guys. But I think mainly the market for this is going to be parents buying it for their kids, or people buying it as a gift.
Got it. I could see a lot of, guys down in North Carolina somewhere hunting. Hey, do you have your comfy? Yeah, ready to rock. So anybody else? Anybody else in the class have any other questions?
Do you think you would make like a pants option to like go with the top half of the comfy?
I mean, that'd be great. Have a full comfy jumpsuit. They do make like little slippers right now, but other than that, they're just in the big sweatshirt market right now. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'd love to have a full comfy jumpsuit.
That would be lit.
Mm-hmm.
So let me hear from Olivia.
Okay.
A little bit about, tell me how you guys came up with this concept. I heard a little bit, but tell me about your communication. How did you guys navigate through what we're going through? I know you guys are college students, so I know that this probably wasn't done 5 weeks ago. So how did you cram? How did you guys communicate? What was your mechanism? How did you guys say, all right, this is what I'm going to do. This is what Zach's going to do, etc.
So we started last week. We actually worked really well together. We have done a few Zoom calls, and we just basically split up like a few questions, and then we each answered them. And then this Sunday, so the other day, we came together and made like the whole PowerPoint together and wrote the paper together. So we all kind of like did an equal amount of work for it.
Got it. Got it. Courtney, anything to add?
Yeah.
You guys have fun doing this? I mean, the company, that sounds like a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I kind of want one now.
Yeah. No, I thought we worked well together. Obviously, I thought it was actually a little bit, like, I know it's hard with Zoom and everything, but it was so much easier, like, scheduling wise. Like, we were just like, all right, 1 o'clock tomorrow, like, we're all not doing anything. So I feel like we got to work, like, more and longer, and also, like, got to know each other a little bit better, too, because we weren't just, like, rushing to get it done, but also, like, I don't know, doing the best we could.
Got it. Out of the, I guess, the 4 of you, and I know I asked this a lot, but who's graduating? Or Mateo, you're done a couple weeks? Yeah? Okay. So Zach, you're coming back 1 more year.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney's back 1 more year, and Olivia's back 1 more year. Okay.
Yeah.
What I would say is to those seniors, remember, think through how you guys communicate effectively in group dynamics, and especially Mateo, are you going into sales?
Hopefully, yeah, that's the idea.
Well, think through some of the key concepts. I mean, this is a good representation. I mean, it took a product that's out there, but you can tell that there was a lot of communication. And I'm a buyer, especially if Zach can get me the one with my initials on it. I got to upgrade anyway. So, excellent job. Thank you guys for going over it and communicating and getting it out there. So, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. we have, in no particular order, Brendan, Emily, Rob, who's dressed to the nines today. Look at that. He's got a shirt and tie.
Gotta look good.
Hey, so, hey, look good, play good. I mean, there we go. I mean, leave it all on the field. Linfer, we have everybody. We got the whole crew. Group number 4. Who would like control of the screen?
Yeah, if you could make me co-host.
Got it. Hold on one sec.
Thank you.
Okay, buddy.
Cool.
All right. Hi, Sharks. How's it going? First and foremost, we just want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us tonight, as well as for your investment consideration. We're Team 4, and we're representing Board Inc. Being who you are, we recognize that you've all sat behind the wheel of some very successful businesses in your life, but I'm sure at some point you've all kind of asked the question to yourself, I wish that this ran a little bit smoothly. How can I make certain processes run a bit smoother, more efficiently, and just overall easier. So our software kind of offers you the opportunity to make your work life easier and gives you that chance. A little bit of basic information. So Board is a unified software platform. We offer basically a combination of analysis, simulation, and planning tools. We were founded in 1994, and we currently employ roughly 500 people. We provide services in financial reporting, supply chain logistics, sales analytics, and human resources support, among other things.
So some of the target markets that we are currently looking to pursue are primarily larger companies, as they are more ideal for us, as they're see more bigger picture that some of the smaller, more private companies may not be looking forward to, as we primarily, our buyers consist of CEOs, CFOs, and COOs. So really just the top executives, as they're the main ones to use it. And they're up to their discretion if they rather have it be installed on site or through the cloud, because a lot of companies that have Board do enjoy being able to take it home, as it is accessible to just use on your phone late at night if you're just thinking of something and you want to see how it can work out for your future, your company.
Sorry, I was on mute there. So just to kick it off with our features and benefits, one of the biggest features of this product is its all-in-one configuration. So this software platform essentially focuses on 3 main functions: business intelligence, performance management, and analytics. And typically a customer would actually need 3 separate software programs to complete each of these functions. So the benefit to the customer is significant cost savings from having Board as one software platform rather than those 3 separate platforms. In addition, this saves the customer a lot of time because they don't need to constantly switch between these separate programs. And it also saves them the time and frustration involved in potential integration issues. So when they're creating a chart or a graph on software programs, they don't need to try and find a way to put them all together. And it saves them a lot of time and frustration there. It's also highly compatible with Microsoft Office products, and this enables customers to create visualizations in our software, such as charts or graphs, and use them in Word documents or even PowerPoint presentations. And the greatest thing about this is that these visualizations will automatically update with any changes in your data, no matter where that data is coming from, which you could even use Excel as your database. And this is highly beneficial to our customers because it's going to save them significant time, because they're not going to have to go in and manually update these visualizations themselves. And this is overall going to allow our customers to create documents and presentations that are impactful, and they're going to be able to make optimal business decisions based on the most current data. Another benefit and feature of this product is that you can run software simulations on it. So the customer can upload data from a variety of sources, like I mentioned, including Excel, and run predictive simulation models based on changes in any drivers to their business. So a company, for example, could run a model to simulate a change in the cost structure of their organization. And these models are very quick and easy for users to build and then run. And the main benefit of this feature for our customers is that it allows executives to quickly evaluate the effects of specific changes within their organization. And this ultimately is going to reduce that uncertainty and risk associated with making big decisions and allow a company to plan for potential changes. Lastly, this feature really enables our users to understand the effects of changes and then therefore make optimal business decisions based on what changes are most likely to have the best positive effects on the organization.
So dashboards are another tool that Board offers, and what these do are they give you visualizations on all your data. So you can literally see everything about your customers, about all your sales in a nice, pretty chart and table or any other graphics that we have. And the benefit of this is that not only do you get to see everything very clearly, you can use this information to better help your own customers and see what they're thinking about, because we know as a large business, you have a lot of stakeholders and they're very important to you. An extension of the dashboards is the ability to build reports. So again, you can create customized reports about anything that you want. So you type in a few search queries and it will automatically send out reports. And one key thing about this is these reports can be viewed on your computers, tablets, smartphones. So you can send these out to every employee really fast. With a click of a button, your employees can have the latest report on their mobile device and they can use that right away to help your customers again. So a little bit about differentiation and our competitors. So again, Board covers a lot of different tools because it's an all-in-one system. So from business intelligence, performance management, and predictive analytics, Board does it all. The other softwares that do this, our competitors, only take care of one of these. So the SAS Business Intelligence covers business intelligence, and Workday covers performance management. SAP Predictive Analytics covers predictive analytics, but again, we do all of this. So instead of having to reach out to 3 different customer representatives when you have a problem, you only have to reach out to one if you're working with Board.
So Sharks, now that you've heard a little bit more about the details and features of our product, we just want to run you through a couple of case studies where Board has actually made a difference in the lives of some pretty recognizable and large firms. Starting with Coca-Cola, as you can see there by that quote, their senior manager of planning and performance, had this to say about Board, which we consider to be pretty glowing praise. Highlights how Board helped him achieve goals, deliver efficiency, and just overall, increase ease of use, across systems. And that was really big because, Coca-Cola was suffering from an inability to remain efficient and effective. Their main competitor, Pepsi, was beating them in that area. And so they were looking for a software platform to kind of increase or step up efficiency, and Board was able to do that for them. Looking at Puma, kind of a similar story. They were forced to essentially pick, or forced to essentially get faster by some way and increase their efficiency. And they could either have chosen, as you see there, the best of breed, array of solutions. So back at that, competitor slide, it would have been the 3 competitors. Whereas, when they chose Board, we were able to provide them with the sort of effective integration that they were looking for, to allow them to speed up and get faster. So now, how that applies to customers in the future. Again, we're looking for, as Rob highlighted, we're looking for large corporations who right now are having difficulty making executive level decisions. It's taking them too long and they're just not running as efficiently as they should be. The goal here is by implementing Board software, they'll eventually be at a more, easier and faster pace to make those decisions. So, before we wrap up officially, we just want to highlight that Board ultimately, I mean, we're in this to improve the quality of life, you know, or of work life anyway, of you sharks, but also anybody who we touch in the future. You know, so again, we thank you for your investment consideration and hope that at least one of you is eager to work with us.
Well, thank you guys. Anybody in the class have anything to say about this unbelievable offer, this unbelievable presentation that we just received?
I have something to say real quick. You guys presented a lot of features and benefits and a lot of capabilities of Board. If you had an opportunity to pitch this company to just a future customer, you can only choose one feature. Which one would you present them with?
I could take that. So I would say that the biggest thing we would pitch is probably its all-in-one situation and configuration, because I think that's what's really going to create the most value for customers, because it's going to save them a lot of money and integration frustration and you know, time as well. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for customers, that they can kind of have a one-stop shop with their software.
Awesome.
What about security? You hear a lot about cybersecurity, and you know, shoot, we get I don't know how many emails here at this university as far as like security is concerned. Have you guys thought of any contingency plans with security, and how do you guys differ from like QuickBooks? You know, what's your differentiator?
I'd say one of the
Board-
biggest.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
you
ahead.
can go, Linfair.
Oh, so Board, we're obviously working with large companies like Coca-Cola, Puma, etc. Like these companies really value their security because they're so large, they manage so many customers. So of course we also run cloud with our software. So of course we have encryption on all of these. So we really do value our customers' privacies, and the businesses that we work with, their customers' privacies as well.
Where do you go next? So you wanted to focus on large corporations, and I get that. I saw that KPMG, you know, and some of these bigger ones. Could you guys do something like this for small businesses, knowing that there's a ton of small businesses out there that are probably looking for some sort of help, or even medium, mid-sized companies? Or are you guys solely focused on these conglomerates?
No, I think we can absolutely work with small businesses as well. And I think, you know, if we receive the investment to, you know, give us the resources to do so, we could definitely move into the small business world, because with small businesses, you're looking at a lot of natural integration anyway. A lot of people high up in those small businesses are kind of forced to wear multiple hats. So a software system like Board would really help them, you know, being able to kind of integrate all of their platforms into one would definitely suit the small business world.
Got it. Anybody from the class have anything to add? Rob, talk to me about, before I go there, where's Mancuso? Didn't you say you worked for Puma?
Yes, sir.
Do you know this Kurt Wather?
No, I'm not familiar with him. I haven't really had much experience with IT, and I'm just kind of an intern, so.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, props to your professor for remembering that you worked for Puma. I mean, I
Right,
just
for
brought that
sure.
out for
I
me.
appreciate that.
You guys used a word throughout this presentation. I don't know if class picked up on it. But one thing that you guys did really well was you talked about, I think it was on 3 or 4 slides, how easy it was, and the integration of how this can make customers' life easy. So Rob, let me ask you a question. How did you guys come up with this? How did you come up with Board Inc? Is this a real product that's out there right now? And how did you guys communicate, all right, this is what we're gonna go with, and this is how we're gonna hand it off, so to speak?
Yeah, we obviously we have a group chat going, and we had a couple ideas, and we kind of settled on Board because no one was really like too dedicated to their idea. Like my idea was there's a little like bottle that like helps you with hangovers, and I thought maybe we could pitch that. But I thought this was a way better idea because it's way more professional, and I thought it'd be better in this setting. But we just met over a couple of times on Zoom and just really thought out what we could do as a team, and we landed on board and didn't look back.
Okay. How did the communication go as far as, doing this via remotely and?
It was definitely more of a challenge because it's kind of weird, like having a group meeting and, well, usually during a group meeting, like everyone's on the computer, I guess, anyway, if you're working on like a presentation. But it was really different just like being at home and like people afterwards could just like do it whenever they wanted. I thought it was pretty interesting that like how fast we got it like done, considering like how much work we had to do.
Got it. Now, when did you guys start on this? Honest.
Last
Be honest,
week, was it?
I don't know. What's today?
I think it was last Friday.
Day 83 of quarantine.
I don't know. All the days are blending together. I would say maybe like 2 weeks ago, we like started thinking of ideas.
Got it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's totally unique, totally different. I've heard a lot about that software and the security, and I think you guys had so much data, and it's a data sell, right? So from an effective selling perspective, it's all about those features and benefits. It's all about kill them with a little bit more data. Obviously, I think if you're going to large companies, I don't know if you guys talked about this, you're probably talking to high-level executives, right? That are going to want to see what the data looks like, what your cloud looks like. Is this a CRM or is this not a CRM? Like, I like the fact that you guys put a lot of those data analytics in here to differentiate yourself from the competition. I don't know if that was a conscious decision. Did you guys feel like you had to include more data in the presentation?
Yeah, I can kind of touch on that. Yeah, I feel like because it was a software program, I think you kind of have to focus on, the functionality of it, what it does and why that's actually beneficial to your customers. And then also to address your question you asked earlier, this actually is a real product.
Okay, got it. Awesome. So, and I'll close with this, Rob. If you do ever come across anything that will cure hangovers, definitely go with that, sell it, because I'd be a buyer. I mean, that's not a problem.
It's called Morning Recovery. Look it up.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank
they
you.
have that already. Yeah.
Duly noted. I will check that out. But great job, guys. And yeah, that was fascinating. So we've gone from Bee Lemonade, right? We've taken a tour of, let's see, we got Sun on the Run. We have the Comfy, obviously. We have the board, and now we are going to go to Group 5. Now, this is, I gotta tell you, this group is going to shock and awe everybody here. I'm telling you, Group 5 is poised and ready. We got Cindy. We got Lauren, who's dressed to impress. We have Andrew, obviously ready to rock and roll. And we got Mr. Stevens. We got the All-Star Squad, group number 5. I think they won the Spaghetti Building Challenge.
No.
What?
No.
I think they came in second.
I think we might have come in last, but you know what?
I appreciate the hype, though. I appreciate the hype.
I'll take that. We did not win.
Set the bar low at first, and then.
Who won the Spaghetti Challenge? What group was that?
Group 3.
The Comfy.
The Comfy.
We sat next to them.
You didn't steal their idea? I mean, come on now. All right, so Group 5, who is going to be manning the battle station?
You can send the troops to me.
Oh boy.
Commander.
Oh boy. All right, hold on.
Whatever that was.
All right. You got it, buddy.
He'll get there.
I just have to make sure I'm sharing sound, so just give me a sec. Alrighty. So, how are you doing today, Sharks? Our group is Group 5, and the company we're presenting on is Pathos Technologies, Inc. I'm Andrew Clegg.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Cindy.
So I'm just gonna do a brief overview. We're first gonna talk about our problem and solution, then move on to the target market, address some risks and advantages, and then talk about our company operations and funding. So first, I'm just gonna show you guys a little video. Some of you might be familiar with this movie.
Don't you hate that?
Hate what?
Uncomfortable silences. Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's when you know you found somebody really special. And you can just shut the fuck up for a minute, comfortably share silence.
So obviously some of you might have seen that movie. So unlike Uma Thurman and John Travolta in this scene, we kind of have the luxury of avoiding these uncomfortable silences, especially with our phones and the distractions that we have today. We can kind of avoid being uncomfortable. We can avoid our emotions. We can avoid really listening to someone and building a genuine connection. And empathy is extremely important now more than ever. So I'm going to get into why that is. If you look at the quote at the top here, it says, technology is adopting faster than it can be taught. The most important skills aren't technical, they're soft, meaning soft skills. So we just have a couple data points here that illustrate the problem. The first, by 2022, 40% of workplace tasks will be performed in some part by AI or robots. So a lot of the technical skills that we're learning are one day going to be basically outsourced and automated. Another data point here that we see is that most of the S&P top 100 companies are competing for the same roles. So in order for candidates to distinguish themselves, it helps to have these soft skills that will help apply that technical knowledge. Another quote here from LinkedIn, soft skills were the most sought after skills by training professionals in 2019. And then another quote here that kind of shows that despite that, less than 10% of training budgets actually focus on soft skills. So we'll get into that a little bit more later. But now to move into our solution. So our first iteration is a course called Pathos Blue. It's an immersive 5-day virtual reality experience where the user lives a day in the life of 5 strangers. Each day that they live corresponds to a level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For example, the first day they would live the life of someone who doesn't have access to food or water or shelter. And in this course, we'll force users to employ the tenets of emotional intelligence like empathy. They'll both experience empathy vicariously through the characters that they play and also by making decisions throughout the course. And after passing each day, the user will become Pathos certified, proving to employers and schools alike that these students are prepared to take advantage of their technical knowledge with the soft skills that they need.
Yeah, guys, so we believe that our target market is based around an addressable target market making up of around $2.07 billion, and that's made up of 3 different categories. You can split it up vaguely into higher education and education centers, as well as IT and software companies. For universities, we're targeting top colleges in the Northeast, Midwest, South, and the West, primarily places with larger student bodies for a greater number of degree options and greater diversity. By providing universities with soft skill training, we're giving them an additional workforce advantages for when they go off on the job seeking process. And we're specifically targeting universities that are emphasizing soft skills already, career services successes, as well as just rapid technological innovation. And for IT and software companies, we divided it down into two different market segments. Corporation hiring programs, primarily medium-sized businesses between 100 and 999 employees, and like I said, usually IT and software, that have high employee turnover, increasing automation, and increased collaboration within the workplace, as well as corporation training programs, which are a little bit larger companies, from 100 to 1,500 employees. And these companies usually have comprehensive multi-day training programs that are relatively reliant on soft skills. And there's an emphasis on employee retention and offsetting skill gaps, because it's always cheaper to train, to retain employees rather than to train them. But overall, for both of these corporation segments, quality of service is paramount to everything else. So we divided our offering into 4 different product offerings with different features and benefits that apply to specific circumstances, and we customized them so they would fit with our target market. The first is the Pathos Color. Andrew talked about Pathos Blue earlier, and that's basically one class tackling a specific type of emotional intelligence subject, such as self-awareness. And it's best used for private and specialized educational use, such as a class or maybe even just a private class. And the next is Pathos Interviewer, which is a customizable Pathos class. So it would be the Pathos Blue, but you would have actionable data being given to you as it is completed, and it would be customizable in time, length, and ways that it can be applied. And it's best for tailored corporate hiring processes. Pathos Trainer is basic access to all Pathos offerings. This is something that we're leading up to developing, and that's going to include all Pathos color options: blue, green, yellow, red, and orange. And that's best for corporate training programs and soft skills education curriculum in general. And then the Pathos Executive is kind of our all-in-one. It's completely customizable access to the Pathos class portfolio, which I just stated for Pathos Trainer. And it's for those that want complete access to the customizable Pathos curriculum. And we think that Pathos Interviewer and Pathos Trainer have an immense power in the job market currently, because soft skills is immensely important, especially in the economy that we're in regarding the pandemic. And employers are putting a large emphasis on who they're hiring at this point.
So to point out some of the opportunities for Pathos, the first point I want to discuss is our market segmentation. So like it was mentioned earlier, we are looking at a narrow market targeting the nonprofit public and private institutions, IT and software companies. So in the US, the market for soft skills training and in the IT services and software markets combined for a total of $2 billion, and both education markets are responsible for a $7 million in soft skills training. So that would make a total of our market to be $2.07 billion. So the second point is our growth characteristics, which relates to our market segmentation. In a 2020 meta-analysis at a university in Norway, 90% of the educators were marked as highly interested in the future development of the applications, but applications faced a number of problems. Like most applications were experimental, used to test performance and usability, and really failed to focus on the specifics of a particular theory, like emotional intelligence. So like soft skills such as motivation, etc. Employee training, on the other hand, has about $350 billion market worldwide, but only 10% of that spending goes towards soft skills. So over 71% of Fortune 500 global business leaders agree that soft training technology is not robust and the technology is weak, according to Deloitte. So the interest from high educations and weak applications suggest an open market opportunity for Pathos Blue to develop a systematic applications of virtual reality in different learning environments. So as for our market strategy, we don't have competitions that are as innovative and soft skills focused as Pathos, and the market demand continues to grow. From a research analysis, the soft skills training market is expected to grow from a $15 billion to a $38 billion by 2027 at a compounded annual growth rate of 12%. So Pathos Technology is really aiming to create a world-renewed emotional intelligence certification through 5 courses, which will be highly valued for HR departments and career services developments alike. So our strategic position include having a flawless and immersive course design created by experts in emotional intelligence and VR gaming. We also will have like research-backed psychological principles that focus on universal soft skills. And we also will have rigid testing throughout course creation and after course adoption online. That really helps to increase our productivity, reduce retention, and create that workforce of the future. And customers are also involved in each of the subsequent course that is created. Finally, our application is designed to be user-friendly, paired with Facebook's latest VR hardware. So there are also a number of risks associated with starting a training company like Pathos. First, the IP protection is largely unstudied for VR, and large companies already own many patents trying to protect their use of technology. To mitigate this, the company has hired top-tier legal counsel and partnered with Facebook. Another risk is slow adoption by the market for a new technology, which Pathos seek to lessen with advisors who understand the needs and wants of customers, as well as our foothold in universities. So offering the course to universities will help us see which industries our offerings may be applicable. There's also another risk of psychological harm to the user, and to protect ourselves, we plan to have disclaimers that will help us or protect us against lawsuits. So finally, there's a risk with long development cycles like Pathos, where it will be hard to prove our product's efficacy. So for this concern, we plan to work closely with members across teams, such as between designer, experts, and developers to allow for a clear communication. So looking into our current and future competitors, the types of companies that will likely to compete with Pathos for market share are immersive educators, MOOCs, in-house trainers, and large content providers. So Strive VR and DDR are notable players in immersive education. Strive VR offers custom end-to-end solutions for companies to create their own VR content, while DDI offers an immersive education course to create situational discomfort and promote empathy in the workplace. So our advantage is that we seek to create a more comprehensive array of courses, while immersion in training are fragmented and many employers have not adopted the VR training as of now. MOOCs, or massive online open courses, offer a variety of training resources for corporations. The courses are typically developed by schools and hosted by MOOCs. So notable competitors include Coursera, edX, and Udacity. However, these groups do not offer the same level of immersion that Pathos plan to offer, and their courses are better for learning technical skills compared to Pathos' focus on soft skills. And these groups offer a variety of certification, which makes it harder to measure the results. In-house training is typically done by HR departments and is the most typical route for companies, although this is unlikely for our target sector, but potential customers may use competitors for their own immersive training. So fast-growing companies tend to allocate more time training for technical skills in comparison to soft skills. This provides a opportunity for Pathos to have an experience for most firms that would not be able to provide for themselves. Large content providers like Cengage and Pearson and offline experts pose the least competitive threat in comparison to the other three, because they have a balance in between digital and print assets. And these companies have inroads with corporations, but their training methods are costly, slower, and just really not the best fit for practical applications of soft skill training. And then offline experts can provide advice and create hypothetical scenarios, but they are really unable to foster an immersive learning environment where Pathos can.
So some of our key partners include Dan Goleman, who's an internationally known psychologist. He has developed a framework of elements that defines emotional intelligence, and he would be in charge of the design and content included in the simulations to ensure effective outcomes. And then we also have Pablo Garcia Morado, who is a successful game developer and has experience creating virtual realities. And then, as Cindy mentioned earlier, our partnership with Facebook, so we would have a licensing and distribution contract, and we would be able to test our product using their VR hardware in exchange for possibly some advertising in the future. And then reviewing our numbers, we have a starting 1.5 million from our seed round funding, and we are looking to grow that to 20 to 100 million, and that is projected over the next 5 years. And we are asking you sharks to match our $1.5 million for a 30% equity stake. Are you in?
All right, that's it.
Awesome.
Any questions?
You got to keep this slide up. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. Well, before we keep this slide up, anybody in the class have any comments, questions about this fantastic presentation? Look at this. It's a great, this is Shark Tank. Oh my God. Mr. Wonderful. Anybody have any questions? Comments?
Yeah, I had a quick question. So you said you mentioned that it would be basically a day in the life of someone that maybe didn't have all of the needs that everybody else has fulfilled. So do you think like maybe just a day would be able to give them enough preparation and soft skills to go into the real world and be able to handle stuff like that?
Yeah, I could take that one. So one of the perks about Pathos is that once you buy a subscription, you have access to that course for a year. And we have a team that, like we Lauren mentioned, Lauren mentioned earlier, we have one of the pretty much the founder, the father of emotional intelligence, kind of advising us, making sure that we hit all the correct buttons in order to have the type of effect that we want. And being able to have that subscription for a year, no matter whether you're in a education center or a corporation, you can always revisit it and make sure to touch up on your skills at any given time. Because as we all know from going from just in the business world, emotional intelligence isn't a finality. You always have to build on it, and you always have to check back and make sure you're really working on it. So that's Pathos's goal.
How did you guys, and I agree, we just did actually last Thursday, we had a 41 slide presentation on EI, emotional intelligence. And this is pretty applicable now in this day and age. So how did you guys come up with this? Is this something that's out there now? How did you guys as a group come to this? This is what you guys wanted to focus on.
I can take that one. So this for me was kind of like a dream business that I wanted to create. So I kind of came to the group and proposed this idea and was like, hey, would you guys want to run with this? And then, sort of maybe help me fill in some of the holes that I had. So I sort of brought it to the group with this idea. And I've always been interested in entrepreneurship and also sort of organizational psychology and how people work. So then the group was really helpful in kind of figuring out like, how would it be priced? How do we need to adjust the market? So we adjusted a lot of things for this presentation based on what I had originally.
I think Fred has a question, and then I have another question for you.
So I was wondering, like,
I feel like you guys are in like a it's like not necessarily like a niche market, but like I kind of feel like you guys are placing yourself in that. Like, I know like obviously masterclass isn't for just EI trading, right? But like, you know, like they've really diversified their portfolio by doing everything from like cooking to bartending to like FBI investigator, like guys teaching you how to think a certain way, right? So like, if you guys were to scale, like how would you scale?
I think I can take this. So Pathos's goal is to actually kind of be that niche, like focus on emotional intelligence and really create that as a strength and it's a new developing like skill that people need. And there's no way that the market for that doesn't really exist. So Pathos would be like the trailblazer in that market.
Yeah, and I think to that point, as well, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a niche. As we mentioned, it's a $35 billion global market today, and it's growing at a CAGR of 12%. And if you kind of look at the market segmentation, a very small portion of that that's classified as soft skills falls under like administrative tasks, I believe. But the other 90% of it sort of has to do with teams being able to work together and function effectively. And then also there's the aspect of complex problem solving. So I think when you really think about how quickly the world is adapting, you know, it's very likely that half the people in this class in 20 years will not have a job for what we're kind of going for now. And what's going to separate us will likely not be our ability to analyze data or do math. It's going to be those skills that we mentioned. So I definitely think it's a sufficient market size.
What's the, I guess, I know that there was one slide up there, but what's the total cost of the program or certification? And the other question is, are companies accepting this like from an accreditation or accredited? Like if you go to a company and say, hey, listen, I'm Pathos certified and I spent, I don't know how many thousands of dollars on a Pathos certification, what's that going to look like?
So I can take that first one on pricing, and I could try on the second one. But so the normal course is around 500, and then the interviewer version is 750. The trainer is 2,000, and the Pathos Executive, which is the whole like customizable platform, is 5,000. And we really wanted to, again, back to the target market, we wanted to market it specifically for people that are teaching or that are hiring or training their employees. We wanted it to cover the students and the employees. And again, we're hoping that Pathos isn't just used as, oh, here, take Pathos, learn everything you need about soft skills, because we all know that soft skills isn't just that, but it's a tool that schools and interviewers and trainers in these corporations are going to be able to use to gauge where they need to work on with certain people in order to, like Andrew said, fill out those holes and make sure everyone can work together cohesively. Especially, I love to highlight the trainer. Nowadays, the past few months, getting a job is extremely hard. So it's employers are very, very strict on who they're hiring, and they love to see the soft skills up front, being able to communicate and being able to get across your mission and what you're trying to do. And then the hard skills can be taught later. But being able to gauge soft skills is an extremely hard process. And Pathos could be that missing piece that's going to be able to improve the hiring process and improve the training process in general. I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay. No, it's good.
I was going to say, did you guys give any thought to changing the name of this company?
A little here and there. Not really.
I'm just asking because Pathos, if you look at the root word of Pathos Technologies, or Pathos is a Greek word that's of pity, you know, it's not really the greatest of quality that evokes pity or sadness. So I don't know. I'm thinking like from a company perspective, if you have pathos, ethos is a good thing, right?
Yeah, in the writing term, yeah, and ethos means character too. So character all around it. Soft skills, hard skills make up the character. But I think that we just wanted to go with that specific brand. And like again, this is an ongoing thing. Andrew's going to keep chugging away and seeing if he can make this a reality down the line. So I don't know if he wants to switch the name, but I really like the brand as is. But at the same time, I see what you're saying.
I just, yeah, from purely an English perspective, I mean, I look at that, it says pity or sadness. Ethos is more of like an uplifting. And if you're talking about EI and you're talking about soft skills, you want to bring people up. You want to make sure that they're not pity or sad or some of those things. Fascinating in the sense of, I think you hit the nail on the head, Matt. A lot of these companies right now are going towards, training. And it's going to be imperative, especially coming out of this. Training and also sales in general is going to look completely different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those companies that are nimble, those companies that can, look at training, how do you train sales reps going forward? Is there going to be as much face-to-face interaction? What's that going to look like when a sales rep that was used to going in and out of offices or large calls is going to have to do their interactions this way or in a different format? And I think that that's going to be imperative going forward. And I kind of like this program. Offers something unique, offers something completely different. So any other comments, questions from the class? Caitlin says no.
Professor, I was going to say to your point, there's actually a VR startup that's doing something with like emotions and kind of monitoring people while they're talking virtually. I forget the name of the company, but there is a company doing something like that.
Got it. Talk to me a little bit about before we break here. How did you guys communicate? How did you guys, when did you start this? And I know that it was kind of Andrew's thing, but how did you guys communicate throughout the process to get this to where it is now?
We had like a couple of meetings and we have a group chat. So similar to other groups, we just texted in the group chat, hopped on Zoom, and then just got the project going.
Yeah, I think Andrew having that like foundation of an idea, it was super easy to just bounce ideas back and forth with each other. And like, he was like, oh, wow, I like that. And then we were able to bring it together.
Got it.
Yeah, along those lines too, you can tell that he's really passionate about this project because as soon as he put it on the floor, everyone, we kind of felt that motivation as well.
That's sales.
Yep.
That's the art of sales. That's it. I mean, that's what you have to have passion about something. You have to have passion. Maybe not now, Andrew, but you have to have passion about what you're doing. So great job. All different. 5 groups tonight. Everybody did something vastly different. I look forward to the last 4. So before we break for the night, last class next week, we have 6, 7, 8, and 9 that are going to be going. So I look forward to seeing how this goes next week. I thank each group that went tonight. I thought overall, did you guys like the presentations? Class perspective, yeah. Thank you for the participation and keeping it a high level. Thank you guys for the groups that went, and look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you, Professor.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.